EA Sports coverage of the NFL has us at the foot of the Rockies, just west of downtown Denver at Empower Field at Mile High. But today, two AFC teams set to do battle. It should be a good one, as it'll be the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Denver Broncos. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn. Happy to be with you. And CD, as we get this thing going, give the folks at home something to keep their eye on.
The running game for both teams, because I think this is going to be an old-fashioned, old-school type of a game. Physical, who wins up front, who runs the ball the best and controls the clock, they will come out the victor.
And off we go from Denver. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Time to see what Patrick Mahomes can do here with his first possession. The quarterback out of Texas Tech, getting set to lead this KC Chiefs offense.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
They'll start the drive here with Pacheco. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Opening quarter, his opening carry of the game, and I think they'll give it to him a few more times, as they should.
You're exactly right about that. With that type of a run, you want to repeat it many times until they show signs of stopping it. I think he did his visualization exercises before this one, and they're paying off.
On first down, they go back to Pacheco. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Could be 4-down territory even if they don't get this, but they need just a few inches here on third. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And a promising start as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a first down. And this, I mean, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that. And here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game. And all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
On first down, Mahomes. Complete. The tight end, Kelce. Touchdown! Travis Kelce, 29 yards. And the Chiefs will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. They're the favorite, no question. And when they score like that on the opening drive to set the tone, you're the underdog on the other bench. That's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't bring the home crowd into it because you're counting on that to be a part of your equalizer, ride their momentum. but you have to give them something to cheer for. So now what you're worried about is they're better than we are. We can't get going. Are we about to get blown out?
Good news, still a long way to go. Extra point by Butker is on target, and it's now a 7-0 game. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it culminates in a Travis Kelce touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback at 6'2" out of Auburn. It's Jarrett Stidham.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Not a huge carry there on first down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on second down.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Again, it's Williams. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. Mike McGlinchey, the Notre Dame man, guilty on that one.
Still third down.
Well, that's a tough, costly penalty because now it makes it 3rd and 6 after the false start. Now it's Stidham. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Partner, I came into this game eager to see how they would hold up in man coverage. But on that play, they held up quite well.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Waiting on it will be Richie James. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. A well-hit ball there. 50 yards on the punt, 3 on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. They have to be thrilled with that first drive that got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Mahomes now on first down. That'll be caught by Rice. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 32-yard line.
It's one play at a time, baby.
Mahomes going to throw. Quick throw there is incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. Who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Now Mahomes. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Chiefs first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first one.
He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Josie Jewell, the linebacker, getting the sack.
Now, how about that? Defensive coordinator perfectly in sync, dials up a blitz. And the man in the middle, he's the one who gets home.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Here's Mahomes to throw. Over the middle, complete. That's Rice.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down.
Now that's a good bounce back after giving up a touchdown on the opening drive. Just 1 first down permitted and then out. Obviously no loss of confidence with that defense, and now they get to turn it back to their offense.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. And it may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. They begin the drive with Williams. And he stops right at the 25 after a gain of 5.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on 2nd.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Here's Stidham. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Nick Bolton. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Oh, this is a great play right here by a very versatile linebacker. It's a zone defense, so he's responsible for one area of the field. And Brandon, I don't think the quarterback ever saw him. Or if he did, he saw him too late because he snuck into a great position there to pick that one off.
KC's offense ready to take over. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Mahomes. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Rice. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that will bring up 2nd down.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Excellent defensive effort to get to him and provide a little contact before the catch could be made cleanly.
In danger of squandering their great field position as they come up on a 3rd and 7. Mahomes now to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing fourth down.
So on fourth down, Mahomes off, Harrison Butker on for the Chiefs field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
So after the made field goal, 10-0 here early as the kick's away. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. And Denver getting set to take the field. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That's George Karlaftis who fought his way through the line to bury him.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball in this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Stidham from down around his goal line. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series.
And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test them early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Now a 2nd and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now here's Mahomes. That is caught. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A pretty sizable deficit here in the 1st quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on 3rd down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last 3rd down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another 1st down, almost back to the drawing board.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Ball at the 40 here for 2nd and 5. Here's Pacheco once again. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 51 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his.
And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Rashee Rice from 19 yards away. And the Chiefs are able to add on to that lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes our score 17-0.
Broncos nothing.
Don't wait on nobody else to make it. You make the push.
So an early advantage now and a good one. 17-0 our score as they kick this one away. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Denver's offense now set to go. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Here's Stidham to throw. His throw incomplete.
And he's missed now in his first 4 passing attempts. The rhythm is just not there to begin this ball game.
Brings up 3rd down and 8 yards to go.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Stidham. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Excellent play there on 3rd down. Give him 25 yards.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely, because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart.
Taking it right down Broadway. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Javonte Williams, 48 yards. And the Broncos are able to cut into that deficit. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? and you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. Will Lutz on for the point after. And it's 17-7. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it was Javonte Williams who capped it all off with a touchdown reception. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Chiefs offense set to go. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Here's Pacheco to begin the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Ball on the 30 now. Here's a second down and 6. Throwing now is Mahomes. And his throw is incomplete.
Well, anytime he reads man coverage, I don't think it's going to be the only time he'll try and hit that route to the outside in this game. He'll test the perimeter, but that time, they were up to the challenge.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. To throw, it's Mahomes. He's got his running back out of the backfield. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I'm not sure that was necessarily a safety valve or a check down throw on 3rd down. Sometimes just try and find the open guy and get him the ball. He did exactly that and found a way to pick up a first down.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Now it's Mahomes again. That ball caught. It's Rice. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A very solid gain of 27. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
This is 2nd and 8. They'll look to throw again. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. And the Chiefs are going to have a 1st and goal as the tackle is made at about the 5.
That's the 3rd time on this drive that these two have connected with each other. They've got a real rapport going. And right now, it's paying off with big chunks of yardage, as shown by that last play.
It looks like a jumbo set with 3 tight ends here for 1st and goal. They'll run it now with Gray. A good display of power, but ultimately it gets him just inside the 5 to the 4 and no further. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
You got to be ready for anything when you play defense against this head coach. That is not something you'd expect to see here in the red zone, but it winds up getting him a few yards.
Pacheco is going to go backwards. He'll lose yardage back to the 5. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. After 1, 17-7 the score on EA Sports. The Chiefs with the football as we start the 2nd quarter. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal as they've got it as we resume action. Here's Mahomes, 3rd and goal. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Good work by that Bronco defense, and it leads to a 4th down.
The way he's been slinging in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that 3rd, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. Butker's kick here is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
After the field goal, here's Butker to kick it away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Denver's offense ready to go again. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
And not much doing there. Maybe a yard up to the 23.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on 1st down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. 2nd and 9. Stidham. Got a man open, it's Sutton. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
And maybe that touchdown on the previous drive has re-energized this offense a little bit. They've been kind of sluggish until then, but they're showing signs of life here, and they get good yardage that time and a 1st down.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. Oh, nice move. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 42 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. They had a chance to limit his yardage, but he was able to fight off that tackle.
So it's not just the responsibility of the guys who missed the tackles along the way. It's all 11 on defense, able to stop this guy, unable to do it on that play. They've got to find a way. How about his ability to break through and gain that yardage?
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 43. They run it again with Williams. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a 1st down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
From the 35, here's 2nd and a yard. Now a toss left side. It's Williams. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
The Broncos on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. Now it's Stidham. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 23. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Now Stidham, off play action. Throw out wide is incomplete.
So it looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10. Now Stidham. It's complete to Williams. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
There they'll be in search of 6 yards here on 3rd down. This is now the 9th play of the drive. Now it's Stidham. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have the Broncos 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
I like the call. Inside the red zone, running the toss. Why? They want to get to the edges. They want to see if guys who don't normally make a lot of tackles are willing to actually do that. That usually means the guy's in the cornerback position.
Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. To throw is Stidham. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. Marvin Mims from 8 yards out. And the Broncos are back within a score. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And it's good. The deficit 6, 20-14. So that drive, 12 plays in length, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Past midfield. And he's he's going to take this all the way down inside the 40.
Well, whatever the relationship was between the special teams and the offense, it's gotten a heck of a lot closer after a return like that. The special teams just keep setting them up. The offense thinks they'll go out there and knock them down.
The ball back to the Chiefs and Isaiah Pacheco. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Pacheco gets it and tries the left side. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. 76 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Throw left side, completion to Rice. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line.
Here's Mahomes to throw. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
I think the defenders have to feel pretty good. Even though the ball was tipped in the air and could have become a big play for the offense, they actually won one because the guy flinging it today, he's having quite the performance. A couple of touchdown passes, almost threw his first interception, but he's throwing it so well that I think Lady Luck was on his side.
Mahomes going to throw. He gets this one complete to Rice. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped it to 1. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
Looking to throw is Mahomes. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. And he's got Hardman in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And they are able to add on to their advantage. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Butker on for the PAT. And the lead is now 13. 5 plays there on that drive. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Denver Broncos back out there. Former Tar Heel Javonte Williams, we shine the spotlight on him. They're behind in the first half here, CD, but it's not through any fault of their running back. He's had a strong start to this one.
And you're right about that, partner, because watching him play, you would think that his team is in the lead. He has been a lot of fun in this contest. Now let's see if they can actually make something happen and put more points on the board behind his efforts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, Charles, if they can play complementary football and get that passing game going as well. On 1st and 10, it's Stidham. He's got his 6'5 receiver. That's Tim Patrick. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Stidham. He'll find his tight end. It's Adam Troutman. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender, but the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
From the 41, here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run out of the gun here. Williams. And he'll make it only to the 43, a gain of 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 43. 14 yards that time for number 14.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. So the 14 yards actually takes him from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. Up the middle, it's Williams. 58 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Here now, 2nd and 4. Here's Stidham to throw. That's going to be complete on the sideline, but, you know, that throw left him no room to run, and the good footwork nearly all for naught. Only able to gain a couple there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that one was covered pretty well because they were trying to leak the tight end out into the flat. I think they were hoping he could catch and turn upfield and pick up the first down.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've been very good, 5 for 7 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. And he's not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. This from 54 yards away. And that is no good. And the deficit will hold pat at 13. Boy, 4th and 2. This crowd was urging them to go for it, certainly. Instead, they settle for the field goal try, and then they come up with nothing.
Brandon, yeah, football coach won't let the crowd dictate how he calls a football game. He stuck to his guns. But after the miss, now there's 70,000 coaches in the stands thinking they were right.
Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Meanwhile, Mahomes throw into the hands here of Hardman. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. Mahomes' throw taken in by Valdez-Scantling. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 24-yard line. 11 yards for number 11. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll run here with Pacheco. And he will take it on in for a Chiefs touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco, a 10-yard touchdown run. And the Chiefs are able to stretch out their lead.
Sometimes you get a 1st and goal and you're back near the 7, 8, 9-yard line, and you start thinking, maybe we'll run it here on 1st down to get half of what we need, so maybe we can have 2 or 3 shots at going for it from closer range. So this is a bonus right here. What a great run to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. And coming out now, the Broncos. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
Stidham's throw caught here by Dulcich. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. They go play action now. Stidham. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Stidham. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Riley Dixon now to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch called for and made at the 12-yard line. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Chiefs are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down is Mahomes. This pass going to be caught by Hardman. And he goes down at the 26. A pickup of 13, and that last play began at the 13. 1st down.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. They'll get 13 yards for the 2nd play in a row. He's having a big game through the air, and sometimes those smart decisions just dump it off. That's how you continue to have big games through the air.
I agree totally. That's a great analogy, a great way to put it, because he doesn't get too greedy where everything has to be pushed downfield, trying to create big plays that aren't there. You dump it off and take that nice gain, and things add up, and now you have the kind of game he's having.
The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
They can't beat us straight up. Let's go.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Another pass into the reliable hands of Kelsey. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. So a decent gain there, but not their 4th consecutive 1st down like they had on the first 3 plays.
You sound almost disappointed there. You want to fire the offensive coordinator on that one or what?
They'd gotten into a rhythm. I thought they were just going to keep going.
Well, almost a win for the defense, but if that's your win, you're not doing very well right now.
And again, it's Mahomes. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense that's certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. That is caught. And they're going to have a 1st down and also well into field goal range, all the way down to the 15 here. Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes. It's Kelsey on the ground. It'll go as a gain of 4, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, a chip shot here. Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So he's been a busy man here in this first half. That's 3 field goals for him now.
And not just 3 field goals, but 3 for 3. So even though the offense has struggled a bit putting it in the end zone, they've still been able to come away with points due to his leg.
So barring a touchback, this likely the final act of the half as the kick is away. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, BG, thanks very much, and welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. We got a strong first half out of the running back Isaiah Pacheco. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It'll be the Broncos getting the football first in this second half as they trail, and we are back underway. This taken in right around the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. And the Broncos offense set to begin this third quarter. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball into the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Play action. It's Stidham. This one swung out to Williams. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
On first down, Stidham. It's complete to Williams. The result, only 4 yards there on the play, and it'll be second down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now Stidham on second down. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he will go out right near the 35-yard line. A gain there of 21 yards.
Well, we talk all the time about playing situational football, and right now I think the scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game, they've got to push the ball downfield, take their shots, try and get big chunks of yardage in a short amount of time. That was a nice play there.
And that's going to be caught by Sutton. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. That's good for 28 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit them, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Stidham now off the bootleg. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3, and not giving up 6.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And they'll send Judy in motion left. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
On 3rd and goal, Stidham. And it's caught. Touchdown, Broncos. Greg Dulcich from 6 yards away. And the Broncos are able to cut into this lead as they score on the opening drive of the 2nd half. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard and you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Now Sean Payton going to say, let's go for 2 on this one. They'll look to run for it with Williams. And he'll get in for the score, and that's going to cut the lead down to 13. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a 2-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the 2-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
And you can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. A dump down to McKinnon. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He can make a man or 2 miss, but that window closed quickly. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Mahomes to MVS there for the Kansas City first.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a 1st down.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Over the middle, that's caught by Rice. 2 yards on the pickup there, and it's 2nd down.
A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8 at the 34-yard line.
Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. Now, a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Throwing is Mahomes on third. He's got his target. That's complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 45-yard line. Great way to convert on third down there. 21 yards the play.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
On first down, Mahomes. And that's caught left side by the tight end, Gray. Call it a gain of a yard, and that'll make it second down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Fifth catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Now it's Mahomes again. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So after the incompletion on first, now second and 10. To throw, it's Mahomes. He'll check this one down to Pacheco. That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's third and 10.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this is going to be another first down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 15-yard line. 11 more yards there, and this methodical drive continues.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's first and 10. Mahomes now to throw. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Rice. So the completion good for 7 there. And that's going to bring up second down. He's been a busy man here in this one, and they're showing off some nice footwork to stay in bounds.
And with those types of catches and the volume that we've seen in this game, wouldn't you keep him busy as well?
I would.
Of course. You got to keep throwing it to him. He keeps making plays.
Mahomes to throw once more. And he's got it. Touchdown. Patrick Mahomes fighting Mecole Hardman. And the Chiefs take a 3-touchdown lead. Boy, he has been fun to watch throwing the football in this one. It's certainly not fun for that defense, though, Charles. Now up to 4 touchdown passes in this ball game.
Yeah, we're supposed to be neutral, but I'm feeling their pain right now because he has absolutely carved up this secondary. A clinic on how to attack a defense and take them out of the game.
Butker now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. That one in the books as a 12-play drive. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Javonte Williams and the rest of the Bronco offense back out onto the field. He's toppled the century mark already receiving the football, closing in on that on the ground, too. They've really had trouble handling him.
I think from what we've seen in this game, his success through the air has started to open things up for him on the ground because now he's loosened up the defense, right? They've got to play just about every snap as if another receiver can get downfield on them, and he's been that receiver. Now they bring him back to the backfield. I think his yardage running the ball will increase as this one goes on. Well, they might need to devote some extra attention to him, something just to stop the momentum he has. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches as we just saw him do there because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business. Yeah, 230, 240 range. Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point of attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense. Boy, a pair of big plays here. This one going for 29. Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory as they've got it to the 28-yard line. Here's Stidham to throw. That's going to be caught by Judy. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that will bring up 2nd down.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 22-yard line.
Now Stidham. Got his man, it's Dulcich. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Here's 3rd and a few inches. They'll bring one of the tight ends in motion left. On 3rd down, here's Williams.
I always appreciate runners who understand situations. That was just 3rd and inches. No reason to dance around in the backfield and try and break off a bigger play. Just go pick up the 1st down, and that's exactly what he did.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
This 2nd and 4. Now carry number 20 of the game. Here's Williams. He'll get this down inside the 10 for a pickup of about 3.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll hand it off now. Williams. And he picks up the 1st as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. And they've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. Now it's Stidham. Open man left side. It's a tight end, Manhertz. Touchdown, Broncos. Chris Manhertz. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Broncos get a bit closer.
That's a good read of the situation by a quarterback.
It's a sprint out to the flat. So after he fakes the handoff, he's going to give the impression this is going to be thrown to the back. Instead, he goes to the next level, and it pays off with a touchdown.
Now Sean Payton going to say, let's go for 2 on this one. Instead, I'm going to look to throw for it. And he's got it for the 2-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. So they go with a pass there on the 2-point try and able to convert it, Charles.
And a good job by the offense figuring out their 2-point play and using it well. It's interesting how people are using the strategy nowadays, though, isn't it?
It really is, and I don't know how much that particular play factored in, but with the PAT moving back in 15-16, that kind of changed things, didn't it?
It's really a part of everyone's strategy now. When I talk with coaches and when we sit with them, they always talk about they actually have 2-point periods in practice now, something they never really did before.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. Another drive coming for KC, and we'll see Marquez Valdez-Scantling once again. He's been a load for them to handle defensively, I know that much.
Well, look at him. He's got 7 catches on the game, and he's starting to shred them a little bit because not only is he catching them, he's picking up good yardage, keeping the chains moving, ball control, you name it. This big guy, what did you say? He's been a load for them to handle?
That's right.
Agreed.
7 catches, as you said, over 100 yards. Meanwhile, Mahomes throw into the hands here of Hardman. A 14-yard gain there as they look to improve this 14-point lead.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Now a 2nd and 2. Now here's Mahomes. A dump down to McKinnon. That one a first down pickup of 8.
That was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? 2nd and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
On play action, it's Mahomes. And his throw here is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. 2nd and 10 now, third quarter action in Denver. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And the Broncos get there and take him down. They'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Taking a deep shot here for Hardman. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball. but he was unable to get away from the defender, couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Jarrett Stidham ready to pilot this offense again. He continues to just torch this defense. Perfect on the last drive, including his 4th touchdown pass of the game.
Similar to hitters that are in that great zone in baseball, and they say the ball looks bigger when it's approaching the plate and they're smacking it around. I think for him, the windows to throw into are wide open. Doesn't matter whether they're tight or not. He feels like it's wide open, puts it in there. 4 touchdown passes. He thinks he's going to throw a whole lot more before this one's over.
But now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think?
And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. On the toss, here's Williams. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage would be found.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
On the stop that time, it was Josie Jewell. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Mahomes. That ball caught. It's Rice. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Chiefs 1st down.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Oh, and that is incomplete.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Rice. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 45-yard line. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Let's go, boy. Let's go.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 45-yard line. And again, it's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end, Kelsey. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice, easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage.
Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and 3.
Here's Mahomes to throw. This one to the right, caught by Valdez-Scantling. These two have hooked up 9 times now this afternoon as they pick up the first.
First down, Chiefs.
Valdez-Scantling in motion left.
Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Working from the gun, Mahomes.
Not only did he have a chance to scan the field there, it felt like he had a chance to scan it twice. The protection was that good. Unfortunately for him, the coverage downfield, equally good.
Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. That is caught, and they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And this is seemingly how it's been all game long. This defense has been just a step too slow. And here they're burned again. Another big play.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Now Mahomes throwing on 2nd down. That is caught by Rice for a Kansas City touchdown. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Chiefs have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up 1st downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Extra point by Butker is on target.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
Broncos 30.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams fighting through. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to...
Stidham looking to escape, but he'll go down. They got him. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. But found his way into the backfield, and he simply would not be denied.
Well, they say that life's all about opportunities, and that holds true when you're playing defense as well. How about him seeing that chance, making the most of it, did a great job of wrapping him up and bringing him down.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Stidham's throw here into the hands of the receiver, Judy.
And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. So they'll get 8 out of that completion. And that brings up 3rd and a full 10 yards. Stidham. And that is incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Here we go. Stidham on 4th down. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And the Chiefs will have the football back in excellent field position. Being just short of midfield, they decide to take a crack at it on 4th down. They don't come through.
Sometimes it's just showing confidence in your defense. You know that they're good, and they'll take care of you. A lot of coaches during the week will announce to their team, we're going to be aggressive, guys. We're going to go for it. Hey, defense, you got me? A little bit of a challenge to them to see if they'll pick up the rest of the team.
We'll see how they respond now.
On 1st and 10, here's Pacheco.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Gets around him. Room here to run. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That good for 22 and a first down.
At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here.
Mahomes going to throw.
Another catch for Valdez-Scantling. And the Chiefs are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football.
Toss right side to Pacheco.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Mahomes to throw on second down. That is caught by Rice. Touchdown, Kansas City. 4 yards on the touchdown grab.
And the Chiefs up the lead to 4 scores now here in this fourth quarter. So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
Taken at the goal line. And they'll be backed up to start this drive as he's taken down right around the 15.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnelled. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Stidham again here on 2nd and 10.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. And they'll hustle up to stop him well shy of the first, right around the 15. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away.
Here's James returning. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Isaiah Pacheco and the offense back out.
He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game.
And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
2nd and 6 at their 48-yard line.
From the 48-yard line, here's 2nd and 6. Headed straight, it's Pacheco.
And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
So no gain on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Excuse my snarkiness here, but isn't the idea of completing a pass supposed to mean you get downfield and gain yards?
Especially on third down.
Yeah, that one. How about the defense? Figured that one out in a big way. Yeah, they completed it all right and lost yardage.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line.
And we get another look now at this Broncos offense. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest.
Now Stidham on first down. Well, those two have hooked up for a touchdown once already in this game, that time unable to find the completion.
Yeah, it just appeared they wanted to get him out into open space and try and get him the football. As you mentioned, unable to connect.
Under 4 to go now as they come up on second down. Now it's Stidham.
And that'll be off the mark, too far out in front, and it's incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. To throw is Stidham. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete.
And he is going to have a Broncos first down as they manage to convert, and that'll keep the drive alive.
Well, give them credit. They're going to stay and fight this out to the end. 4th down, you've got to go for it. And they not only convert, but pick up some good yardage as well.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Off the draw, here's Williams. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game. And while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Now Stidham.
Oh, he'll air this one deep for Judy.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
The first down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Stidham. And that will be incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. They'll try and throw for it with Stidham. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th, and the Chiefs defense comes up with a stop. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on fourth down. They're now 1 for 3 on fourth down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on fourth down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually you have fourth down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off. They'll start the drive here with Pacheco.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away. Second down, McKinnon. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Here's 3rd and 3. They'll try for the first with Pacheco.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, good enough to extend the drive. Hate to be blunt, but it is just continuing to prove to be the case that this O-line is manhandling this D-line right now.
They deserve to roll up their sleeves and show up their biceps because they're doing exactly what you just described, manhandling the defensive front. They've got the leverage, they are powering through, and they're controlling this game.
He'll take this to the 46.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground.
Second down and 8.
So this one in the win column for Kansas City, and maybe more importantly, a victory in the division, which always helps.
And on the road. How about all of that rolled up into one? Because how often do you see division games get decided by this much of a margin?
Yeah, they thumped them.
Yeah, they jumped all over them. And a division game is usually a touchdown or less because these two teams know each other better than most teams in the league. In this case, that didn't hold up. On the road, big margin, big victory. Oh, yeah, that flight home will be good.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, everyone, as we say so long from Denver.
off we go from Denver. From his end zone, Marvin Mims. And he returns this to the 22.
So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their quarterback at 6'2" out of Auburn. It's Jarrett Stidham.
The secret to his game and his success, incredible chemistry with each and every one of the guys who catches passes with it. And not only does he ask them to stay after practice or meet him before practice, he actually demands it because he knows if they have that kind of chemistry built up, they're going to be hard to beat each and every ball game.
On first down, Stidham. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 17 yards on the game's opening play and a quick first down.
Certainly no settling into the drive there. They came right out on the first play and attacked the middle of the field for a big gainer and a first down.
On first and 10, it's Stidham. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
Now a 2nd and 10. They run for the first time with Javonte Williams.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
I really like the vision he displayed on that play because he saw there wasn't a lane to completely break off a huge gain. So he found where there was the most space and got what he could. A nice dirty run that's a positive play for the offense.
In motion goes Patrick.
Now it's Stidham. And the Chiefs are going to get him.
That was Nick Bolton rushing in and burying him behind the line.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. On 4th down, it's Riley Dixon on now to kick it away for Denver. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Chiefs now under their veteran head coach, Andy Reid. As we get a peek at the former Red Raider and 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
I tell you what, when he is on schedule for that week, secondaries take notice because you've got to stay alert back there on every snap. A truly powerful arm, one that's capable of challenging any level of the defense on any given play. That's why so many scouts preach arm talent when preparing for the NFL draft. A quarterback with arm strength to make every throw in the book, he's an asset to have in any offense.
Here's Pacheco to begin the drive.
Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Now here's Mahomes. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. That throw, Charles, over the middle of the field, and a few too many bodies in there got picked.
That's a normal situation, too, isn't it? No matter how hard you try and spread the field sometimes, there's always going to be a traffic jam, it feels like, towards the middle. And if there's any type of a missed throw or maybe the ball's tipped or just too many bodies in the area, an interception can result.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. After the interception, here's Stidham. And this one is incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force the incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Stidham to throw. And this will be incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Here's Stidham. And he's taken down. A Chiefs sack. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
That'll give them 8 that time. Yeah, that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple. On play action, it's Mahomes. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive, come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 48-yard line. Quick throw caught out wide by Valdez-Scantling. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Another 1st down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here. Zero hesitation that time. That was get ball, throw ball.
Yeah, it turned into a smoke route. If you see the coverage off the receiver, doesn't matter whether you call it a run or not. Just take the ball, get it out to him.
Mahomes now on 1st down. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
2 yards to go, 2nd down. They go play action. Now Mahomes. This is caught.
Chiefs touchdown.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling bringing in that one from Patrick Mahomes. And the Chiefs get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
Good bounce-back drive right there through the pick on drive number 1. Drive number 2 leads them right down the field into the end zone.
Agree totally. Excellent bounce back, tremendous poise, confidence never lost, and obviously he transmitted that to his teammates as well. What a really nice drive.
Harrison Butker is on for the extra point. And his kick is good to make it 7-0 KC. So that drive spanned 5 plays. And it winds up with the Chiefs hitting pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away.
And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The football going back over to the Denver Broncos. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. We'll see if they can do better here on this drive.
Stidham sets to throw on first.
Screen play set up for Williams.
And the stiff arm made it a pretty little run. Not a huge gain, but a nice chunk of yardage. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
3rd and 3.
They'll set up a throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have the Broncos first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Stidham. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Now back to throw.
This ball tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. Fortunate maybe to get that back. It's 3rd down.
I can assure you, setting up a screen is much more difficult than it appears. It requires excellent timing from everyone on the offense, and a defense's #1 goal is to throw that timing off.
Stidham going back to the air. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to the huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
Pacheco gets it again on second down.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now a 3rd and 6.
To throw, it's Mahomes.
Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the 1st down.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. And it's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Mahomes throw here complete to Kelsey.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Over the middle, it's complete. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
From the 4, it's 2nd and a couple. They'll run out of the gun with Pacheco.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes. Touchdown! Mahomes hitting his favorite target, Travis Kelsey, on the touchdown pass.
And the Chiefs are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead.
We're still in the first quarter, but it's apparent they're going to have to come up with a different defensive game plan for him because right now he's kind of having his way against that defense and has added a touchdown to the list. How do you slow him down? They're going to have to mix up some coverages, maybe change who's guarding him.
Butker on for the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So an 8-play drive covering 80 yards.
And it culminates in a Travis Kelsey touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. Well, now how about this return?
And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. Denver's offense now set to go.
They find themselves in a good-size hole here, and a good-size hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. Now Stidham.